Imagine a small golden disk sailing through the deep quiet between the stars. It turns slowly, colder with every year, carried by a pair of machines that no longer hear our voice. Inside that disk is a compressed memory of a planet. There are greetings in dozens of languages recorded by people who looked at a microphone and tried to imagine what it would mean to speak to someone who did not share our sky. There is music that once filled concert halls and porches and small, crowded bars. There are greetings in many languages recorded by people who imagined speaking to a stranger. There is music that once filled concert halls and porches and crowded bars. The year was 1977, when the two Voyagers left Earth. The Cold War shaped headlines. Computers filled rooms and murmured to stacks of punched cards. Few households had machines on their desks, and almost nobody imagined a public web. Yet, in that era, a group of scientists and artists decided that a mission to the outer planets should also carry a small museum of Earth. They knew the probes would eventually escape the sun and move into the larger neighborhood of the galaxy, and they wanted to send a gift that would remain readable when the cameras were dark. Carl Sagan helped lead the effort, and he gathered colleagues who could argue gently and design carefully. Their task was simple to describe and difficult to complete. They had to compress the sound and sight of a world into a format a stranger might decode without sharing our history. The result was a 12-inch copper disc coated with gold and housed in an aluminum jacket. The cover carried a map that used the timing of nearby pulsars to mark the position of our sun, because pulsars are clocks that shine across great distances. It carried instructions that showed how to place the stylus and how to interpret the audio signal so that images could be reconstructed line by line. The makers tried to write in the language of physics, drawing circles and ticks instead of letters, counting with hydrogen rather than Arabic numerals. They knew that any true recipient would not read English, so they wrote the manual as a set of relationships, the way a teacher draws a diagram on a board. What should go on the record was a more delicate question. The team had only 90 minutes of sound and a small gallery of images. They argued over whether to show conflict. If you pretend the world is gentle, you lie. If you dwell on war, you misrepresent a planet that spends most days working and learning and cooking and loving. In the end, they chose to be honest and generous at the same time, which is another way to say they tried to be human. They included scientific diagrams and everyday scenes. They included babies and elders. They included animals that never heard of us and landscapes that do not care what we believe. The sequence of sounds begins with a formal greeting by the head of the United Nations at the time, and then it opens to voices from many places. Akkadian, a language from ancient Mesopotamia, joins English and Arabic and Mandarin and Spanish. You can hear a greeting in Quechua from the high Andes and a greeting in Wu from the region around Shanghai. After the voices comes the soundscape of Earth. Rain taps against leaves. A train passes and fades. A mother laughs with her child. Thunder rolls and retreats. A rocket engine roars like a mountain waking up. Somewhere in the middle, there is the heartbeat of a person who loved someone else very much, because the record is not only about facts, it is about presence. The music is a tour through time and culture. There is a prelude by Bach that balances clarity with longing. There are movements by Beethoven and Mozart, chosen for beauty and for structure, because mathematics and emotion live together inside those notes. There are folk songs from Peru and Bulgaria, a raga from India that circles a scale like a hawk riding a thermal, and drums from Senegal that weave breath with rhythm. A track by Blind Willie Johnson carries the ache of slide guitar and the ache of a human voice that knows loss and hope. There is a recording of Johnny B. Goode by Chuck Berry, a choice some questioned at first and then defended, because rock and roll belongs on a record that says, "This is us." It is not a museum of only old statues. It is a living portrait. The images are encoded as a signal that can be turned into lines and then stacked into pictures. The first set teaches the method with shapes and grids so that a patient reader can learn the trick. After that, the gallery opens. There are mountains and deserts and reefs, the slow bend of a river delta, and the bright curve of a cloud deck over the Pacific. There are drawings that describe DNA and diagrams that show our solar system with distances in units defined on the cover. There are photographs of people eating a meal together, working in a laboratory, and playing in a park. There is a picture of a supermarket aisle full of food, because abundance says something profound about cooperation and planning. There is a mother nursing her child, because tenderness is worth sending to. All of it rides outward on two machines the size of small cars. Voyager 2 actually launched first on August the 20th of that year, and Voyager 1 followed in early September. Gravitational assists let them swing past giant planets and steal a little momentum. They photographed Jupiter's storms that roll like marbles in thick paint. They revealed fine structure in the rings of Saturn, tiny gaps, and shepherd moons. Voyager 2 later visited Uranus and Neptune, turning distant dots into worlds with weather. When the flybys were finished, the probes continued on paths that pointed away from the plane of the planets and toward the larger ocean of space. Their cameras went dark to save power, but their antennas kept whispering home. In 2012, Voyager 1 crossed the boundary where the solar wind yields to the thinner medium between the stars, a transition called the heliopause. In 2018, Voyager 2 reached the same frontier by a different route. The signals they send now are faint and slow. Each year, the power available to their instruments falls as their nuclear batteries cool. A day will come when the last transmitter goes quiet, and no one on Earth can command either craft again. After that, the Voyagers will be silent travelers. The records on their sides will not care. They do not need power. They only need time. Where are they going? Voyager 1 heads toward the constellation Ophiuchus and will pass near a small star called Gliese 445 in roughly 40,000 years. Near in this case still means a distance so large that even a fast ship would need many human lifetimes to cross it. Voyager 2 moves toward Ross 248 and will pass it on a similar timescale. They are not aimed at a particular target. They are simply following the momentum they earned during their grand tour. Their future is long, quiet travel. The odds that anyone will ever find the Golden Record are very low. Space is mostly space. Yet, the record was not a mistake. Even if no one hears it, it still works as a promise. It says that a civilization which worries and argues can also pause and assemble a thoughtful greeting. It says that a species that sometimes fears the dark can still choose to speak into it. It says that we know how to represent ourselves with humility and care. The audience might be another mind, but the first audience is us. Some people objected to the map on the cover. They asked whether we had risked our safety by pointing a stranger to our sun. The answer from the team was calm. Any society able to recover a tiny object from interstellar space will already be able to detect life on Earth by looking at the way our air absorbs light. Our planet has been sending its own signal for millions of years in the chemistry of its atmosphere. The record changes little. Besides, hospitality is its own kind of prudence. A friendly greeting to the future is a better legacy than a clenched fist. There is also the question of permanence. A message sent out cannot be recalled. The people who made the record knew that what they included would remain fixed while we continue to change at home. Languages evolve, tastes shift, politics turn and turn again. The record remains a snapshot of a particular decade when hope and caution sat together. Some listeners might wish for updates, but part of the meaning of the record is that it refuses to chase fashion. It is a still photograph in a moving world, and stillness can be beautiful. Think for a moment about the possible listener. Perhaps a being unlike any animal on Earth finds the probe and studies the cover. Perhaps a patient intelligence living in a cloud of tiny machines does the same work. The instructions are careful enough that a methodical mind can recover the pictures and the sounds. The first minutes will confuse. Then patterns will appear. A scale repeats. A heartbeat returns. Voices rise and fall with a cadence that makes meaning even before words are learned. Finally, there is music, and rhythm does what it always does, quietly persuading the body to sway. Now think about the listener closer to home. A person who cannot sleep steps onto a balcony and looks up. The sky is clear enough that a handful of bright stars make a rough map. Somewhere beyond those points, the Voyagers drift, too far away for any backyard telescope to see, yet present as an idea. The thought that a small, honest greeting is traveling outward can soften the heavy parts of the day. It is easier to breathe when you remember that someone once cared enough to record crickets and rain. It is easier to sleep when you imagine the disk turning slowly and carrying on without hurry. There are charming technical details for the curious. The record rotates at 16 and 2/3 revolutions per minute. The jacket includes a cartridge and needle, in case the finder does not know what those tools are. A sample of uranium-238 is attached so that its slow and predictable decay can serve as a clock for anyone who can measure isotopes. The images are encoded as brightness values that can be plotted line by line to form frames. Engineers who designed planetary flybys also practiced the quiet art of groove cutting and image encoding. The story of how the record came to be includes small moments of love. Anne Druyan recorded her heartbeat and her brain activity after meditating on someone she loved. Those patterns are tucked into the sequence known as the sounds of Earth. It is a tender admission that knowledge and feeling are not opposites. There were also moments of playful argument, like the debate over whether Johnny B. Goode should stand beside Bach. The final answer was yes. Culture is not a single pillar. It is a forest. A forest needs both old trees and quick-growing saplings, and it needs undergrowth that flowers after rain. When the records were finished and the spacecraft were launched, the project still felt uncertain. No one could test the central premise. No one could ask a non-human listener for a review. But meaning does not always require an audience. When you plant a tree, you do not demand a promise that you will live to sit under its shade. You plant because others once planted for you. The record took that reasoning and stretched it across space and time. It is a patient gift to whoever comes next. There is a sentence near the end of the record that people remember. Children say hello from planet Earth. The voices are clear and earnest. They do not pretend to be wise. They do not ask for anything. They simply greet the unknown with courtesy. That tone might be the most important choice the team made. If a greeting is humble, it can remain true for a long time. If a greeting is boastful, it fades quickly when facts change. The Golden Record may never be heard by strangers, but it has already been heard by us. School children learn that a copy exists in each Voyager, and they picture a disk spinning through dark space. Artists borrow the idea and translate it into paintings and songs. Parents who grew up in one country share the track list with children who will grow up in another, and those children learn that identity can be large. In this way, the record performs its duty every year. It keeps widening the circle of who we think we are. So let us breathe and imagine the two travelers again. One is a little ahead and above the plane of the planets. The other is a little behind and below. They both move outward at a speed that will never feel fast to a human heart. They pass dust and then emptier dust. They cross invisible borders where one kind of particle gives way to another. They carry their golden cargo without complaint. What they hold is not urgent. It is simply careful and kind. If you listen quietly, you can almost hear the first seconds of the record. There is a soft hiss that belongs to any needle tracing any groove. Then a voice arrives with a measured welcome. Soon after, rain begins, and you can smell wet soil that is not really present, but that your mind knows how to summon. You can hear the wind through grass and the beginning of a lullaby. The music is gentle enough that thoughts can float without colliding. The feeling that follows is not triumph, it is relief. We manage to say hello in a way that fits the scale of the night. The record is a promise that we can choose generosity even when no one is asking for it. It is proof that science and art can sit at the same table and share a meal. It is a reminder that our planet has one ocean and one sky, and that these facts matter more than any border. If a listener eventually hears the record, they will learn details about our bodies and our math, but they will also learn that we valued beauty enough to include it alongside facts. If no listener ever hears it, the project still leaves a steady light in our own history. We did a thoughtful thing and let it go. In the quiet that follows, consider your own breath. It rises and falls like a small tide. Somewhere far beyond the moon, a patient disk turns with the same calm rhythm. You do not have to reach it. You only have to know that it is there. Sleep comes more easily when space feels like a place that can hold a gift. When morning comes, the Voyagers will be a little farther away, and the gift will still be on its way. That is enough for tonight, and tomorrow too.